What's up, everybody? I am Mckenty. This is my second channel where I talk about business and marketing and personal development, all that kind of stuff. And in this video, I want to talk about LinkedIn, because if you have paid attention to my videos lately, which I hope you have, I've been talking a lot about LinkedIn and specifically about why I have been going hard on LinkedIn. In this video, I'm going to explain why I'm doing it and also what specifically I am doing. If you're looking for work now, which I hope you're not, but I know unfortunately some of us are, or even if you aren't, it would probably be a good idea to build your profile on LinkedIn now so that in case the shit does hit the fan, you're going to be prepared and you'll be able to succeed where other people might be struggling. So the main thing that you want to do, your mission with LinkedIn is to be top of mind for whatever it is that you do. So that whether you are a carpenter or a lawyer or a doctor or a YouTuber or whatever it is that you do, you want to be the first person that people think of when they think of that thing. Because so much of business, so many of life really in general, is just about being in the right place at the right time. You might think that you don't need a carpenter right now, but if your deck collapses tomorrow, well, suddenly you're going to need a carpenter, right? And whoever the person is that is top of mind is going to be the person that you call. So you want to be the person that is top of mind for whatever it is that you do. Because even if somebody doesn't need your services right now, that could change tomorrow. So for me, the thing that I'm pushing right now, I'm kind of softly pushing it now, but I'm going to push it harder in the near future, is I've started doing some social media coaching. I'll put a link to that in the description if you want to see what I'm doing with it. It's like a 4 or 5 week program over a series of Zoom calls where I will help you figure out why you should build your social media, what the story is that you're going to use on social media, the content calendar, and then help you co-create the first few pieces of content for it. So I want to be the first person that anybody thinks of when they think, I want help with my social media. I want them to think of me. I will go through some of my posts here in detail and show you what's working, what's not working, and hopefully give you some specific direction on what to do on LinkedIn. But yeah, that's the strategy. Be top of mind for whatever it is that you do. All right, everybody, so let's get into some specifics here on LinkedIn. And by the way, if you have not added me yet on LinkedIn, you should do that right now. There's a link to that in the description of this video. First of all, what you need to do is optimize your profile. The first thing is your title here. Our job here is to be top of mind for whatever it is that we do, which means that you need to make sure that at a glance, it is clear what you do. Make sure that if somebody doesn't even look at your profile, they already know the answer to that. You do not want something like seeking opportunities, talented, creative, professional, or something like that. You have to be specific. Graphic designer and a visual storyteller. I don't really know what visual storyteller is, but graphic designer is good. And my friend Chase Clymer, you may know him from his old Easy Core band City Lights. He now has an agency with my other friend Sean Kemserov that does Shopify consulting. So Shopify expert, making e-commerce brands more money every day. Very clear what he does. Shopify, super specific and specialized. Who does he do it for? E-commerce brands, and specifically what is the benefit for them making more money? Okay, so the title, that's one very important part of it. Your profile itself, the most important part of it is the About section, because that's where a lot of people are going to look once they click on your profile, and you want to make sure that you're telling your story there. I think the first sentence should be essentially a longer version of this. So mine is, I help brands, creators, and entrepreneurs grow their businesses, leveraging what I've learned from my 15 years of experience in marketing, design, and operations. And then I talk about some of the stuff I've done in detail, so my YouTube channel, that I've worked for Abercrombie, Febreze, Swiffer, online education. The point is that, again, when somebody reads this, it should be very clear what you do, because you may take this for granted, but nobody's going to know what you do unless you tell them. And if they don't know what you do, then they can't hire you, and this is all a waste, right? So it is important to beat people over the head with this. The next question is, what kind of stuff should you post? And this is actually easier than it seems. Basically, just talk about whatever it is that you do. It's as simple as that. If I have a piece of content that is related to business, I will post it here. And so all my podcasts are focused on business, so I always share those. I don't share stuff that's just about music, because LinkedIn is not a music platform. So don't talk about your band on there. So I did this video on my second channel talking about how we're kind of getting through the quarantine. And part of that video was I took this clip out talking about how my views are down. I didn't really expect this to do that well, but it did. I mean, it got a lot of discussion. So I essentially just asked a question. This is an important thing to do on LinkedIn. If you want engagement, invite people to comment. So ask them, just like on YouTube, to say, hey, tell me what you think in the comments. Do that on LinkedIn too. You want to be the center of the conversation around this thing. My views are down. What do you think is happening? Tell me how your consumption patterns have changed. And I got, 60 comments on that, 1,600 views on the video. A view on LinkedIn is worth way more, or comment, like any piece of engagement on LinkedIn is worth way more than it is on any other platform. This one here is actually my most successful post on LinkedIn to date. 14,000 views. And, I think that's a lot because I don't have a huge following on LinkedIn. I think I have well, you can see here, I've got 3,600 followers. This is an example of the kind of stuff that works really well on LinkedIn. It's very easy. It's just a picture of me that I just screen capped from a video. I didn't even take this picture with the intent of using it on LinkedIn, with a caption to stop, this is a very bright, obnoxious color, so that when people are scrolling through their feed, it'll catch their eye. And people on LinkedIn actually read the captions. So I really take advantage of that. And in this post, I essentially said, hey, if you are facing change right now, as a lot of people are, don't worry, you're not too old, because, you hear from people who are 20 years old that think it's too late for them to make a change. And, it's not. And it's not too late for someone who's 30, 40, 60. It doesn't matter. So anyway, I don't know. It took me 5 minutes to write this. And then hashtags are also an important thing to use on LinkedIn. It's actually pretty easy to trend for a hashtag on LinkedIn. I've done it several times. And again, I'm not anything special on LinkedIn. I think anybody could trend for these hashtags. It's a little harder to do hashtag research on LinkedIn than it is other platforms. I would say just try a few things and see what works. The advice I've seen is that you shouldn't use more than 5, or it may get flagged as spam. I don't know if that's true or not, but that's what I do. I stick to 5 just to be safe, and it seems to work for me. Another podcast, 1,500 views. It's not crazy, but again, a view on LinkedIn is worth way more than a view on Instagram or Facebook or YouTube, because who are these people? If you are on LinkedIn looking at content, you care about business. You don't go on LinkedIn looking for content unless you're a pretty dedicated, high-value person. So I feel like a view on LinkedIn is worth, 10 times more than a view on any other platform for that reason, because these are very important, valuable people. Here's another type of content that anybody can do: commenting on the news. I noticed that Zoom, they exploded in the past couple weeks, and I just sort of asked the question, hey, what's going to happen after this? Are people going to stick around? Are people going to continue to use Zoom after this is over? And I just took a screenshot of their stock and I added this bright, obnoxious pink arrow. Again, the one thing I do on every platform is I try to add something that will stop them when they're scrolling through the feed. I'm not an expert on Zoom or their stock or anything like that. I just asked the question, what happens next? 4,000 views, 23 comments. I think that's pretty good. This one actually ended up trending in the content strategy hashtag. You can see here I got over 10,000 views of that post. All I did is just a selfie of me sitting at this exact desk saying, hey, is it cool to post about stuff other than coronavirus? 56 comments, 167 likes, 10,000 views. One thing I really like doing is these document posts. This is just a PDF. If you upload a PDF to LinkedIn when you post, it'll turn into this, and these get quite a bit of engagement. So I shared in my story some of the details about how I make my thumbnails on YouTube. I screen capped those and put them into a PDF. I made a piece of content about how I made a piece of content. It's just the screen caps of my Instagram story in a PDF. That's it. And I think it actually probably could have done better. If I don't know if these were the right hashtags. I might have tried something else. These are very popular hashtags, and I was going to see if I could trend on them. What you want to do, I think, generally speaking, is go for less popular hashtags, because it's much more likely that you'll be able to trend in an unpopular hashtag than a popular one. I shared this YouTube video. Again, I only share stuff that's about business. I don't share stuff that's just about music. So you notice I don't share many of my YouTube videos, but this one I did share because it is about Periphery and their business model. Here's another post about working from home. Again, just a picture, a selfie of me sitting here at this desk podcasting with Brendan from Counterparts. Nothing fancy. And just shared a couple tips on what works for me about working from home. That's it. This one did pretty well. I was just at Safeway and I noticed this muscle milk packaging. Again, this is 3 weeks ago before the world exploded and people were talking about things other than coronavirus. I just noticed that this packaging was kind of more confusing than it needed to be. And so I just took a picture of that, added a caption, added these obnoxious pink circles to it. I just like that color pink. Stands out a lot in a feed. That's why I use it all the time. And I just said, hey guys, keep it simple. If you're working on packaging, don't confuse your customer. 2,400 views. You get the idea. The point is, you don't have to do anything crazy on LinkedIn. Just talk about your field. That's all you need to do. Again, remember that your job on LinkedIn is to be top of mind for whatever it is that you do. You want to be the first person that people think of when they go, hey, I need somebody to do X, whatever it is that you do. You want to be the first person they think of, and you will do that by talking about it on LinkedIn. That's it. So I hope that helped. If you are looking for work or you find yourself looking for work in the near future, LinkedIn is a great place to do it. Don't use it just as an online resume. Use it as an actual social network. It's very powerful. There's a lot of stuff happening over there. If you haven't added me on LinkedIn yet, now would be a good time to do that, and I will see you there.